same time.
All right, we should be live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to My Life in Another Anime podcast, where this week we're going to be talking about Konosuba. Konosuba, I think, is a fairly universally loved anime until I read the comments on the poll, and I found out pretty quick that not everybody loves Konosuba, but I love Konosuba, and I think these guys too. So this week I am joined by DapperDice and Owwen. Owwen, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you've been watching this week.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm Owwen. This week I've actually been watching a lot of Chainsaw Man, and well, this wasn't this week, but last week I was actually watching the latest episode of My Hero Academia, and I cannot wait for next week, or technically this Saturday. It's gonna be great.
All right, Dapper.
Yeah, as for me, binging both seasons of Konosuba in a 1 week period, as well as catching up on Chainsaw Man with a friend of mine. That animation is beautiful, and the OST, I love the opening. Plus, catching her up on That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime as well. So a lot of revisiting and a lot of looking forward to new experiences for myself.
Right on. I was telling Owwen before we started, it's been a dry spell in anime for me. Like, I look forward to Reincarnated as a Sword and Chainsaw Man. That's pretty much it. Like, everything else I kind of watch occasionally, but I've lost interest in pretty much all the animes. I'm still watching Akiba Maid War just because I love violence, but other than that, pretty dry season for me, but loving Chainsaw Man and loving Reincarnated as a Sword. But that's not what we're talking about this week. We're talking about Konosuba. And why in the hell is Konosuba so good? So, Dapper, why do you think, or what would you rank Konosuba, and why do you think it's good?
I would rank Konosuba as a 8.5 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah, for the consistent reason on why I rank animes higher over others. The animation is unnecessarily amazing sometimes, and there are just that explosion looks so goddamn amazing every single time it appears on screen. Outside of the animation, I actually really like the story because the characters are generally endearing, and I actually really like this protag, not for some of his actions, but how he just handles himself in a world like this. Those are my generic, or my summarized reasons that I like this anime.
Owwen, how about you?
So I was thinking a lot about it, and I think that it's hard to give Konosuba anything less than a 9, but it's also hard to give it anything more than a 9. So 9 it is for Konosuba. I think that storyline, it's pretty stale. It's just an anime that you're never gonna get tired of, but it's not necessarily a very progressive anime. While the goal still persists, where they just need to go ahead and try to kill the the demon lord as any other isekai. This one really is more about what happens throughout the life of Kazuma, and how basically everything goes wrong for him, and it's just a very funny anime. So I wouldn't give it anything else than a 9 for sure.
Yeah. I would give it 8.5, 9, something like that. I think it does a really good job of merging slice of life with just an isekai action. Yeah. And it does a really good job of that. And it subverts expectations. Like it of course is making fun of the isekai tropes, but it makes fun of itself at the same time. And what I really, really love about Konosuba is they take things right to the edge without ever crossing them expertly. Like, they continuously do it. Like, they hardly ever actually cross the line, but they go right up to it. As evidence with, like, I would say Darkness. It's the Blaine says it's the dance. Yeah, part of it's the dance, but like Darkness with her being a masochist, and like they make that joke all the time, but it's never blown so far out of proportion that's gross or off-putting in any way. Mm-hmm. And I think the converse of that, it would be Zenitsu from Demon Slayer. We always pick on Zenitsu, but they take Zenitsu to the line, load him into a fucking catapult, and then shoot him as far over the line as humanly possible. You know what I mean? Like, they drive that joke down your throat so fucking hard. Whereas with Konosuba, they'll make a joke several times, but it never gets to the point where it gets to the point where like, if they make that joke one more time, it's not going to be funny, but they never make it one more time. They always bring it right up to that edge and they never cross it. That's what I think makes Konosuba so great.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those animes where I was like, oh, I can tell this joke's going to get real dull real quick, and I'm going to just kind of not care anymore. I have still yet to hit that point because, as you were saying, they space it out very well. The pacing of the jokes is really well done. When they need to take a moment seriously, they do. But when they need to tell a joke, they don't linger on it for a full 5 to 7 minutes. That Darkness is going to have her moments. It happens, and then she's either out of the fight or you focus on someone else. They never linger on a joke long enough to cross that threshold, so they do a great job with that.
Totally agree. And then Megami with her explosion magic, like she could learn, like I just love all the jokes in Konosuba. Like she could learn any magic she wants to, but she decides
nope, explosion.
Just explosions. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be out of the fight after one attack every single time. And they like expect it and plan for it for every fight. Like, all right, Mega's going to do her explosion, and then who's going to carry her after that?
Yeah,
their personalities are also really appealing. All of them have like different type of like traits to each other. So Megumin being the one who's only able to do explosions, Darkness being a useless tank, super powerful, but she can't aim for crap. And then you have Aqua, who is just learning all party tricks rather than learning actual magic, and her sacred abilities that come with are pretty useless against anything that is not an undead, And then it's really freaking funny. To give an example, like probably a moment that I remember and I will forever remember on this anime is Aqua being a freaking magnet for undead. These guys literally Megumin thing outside this dungeon that they find, and Aqua and Kazuma just going down to the dungeon. They cannot see anything. Then Kazuma uses his night vision and sees all the rats and monsters coming through the stairs. Kazuma just completely disappearing and be like, bye.
Have fun.
Completely by herself. They left her there for dead. Kind of like whenever they grabbed Aqua and just put her in the lake with all the crocodiles and stuff like that. Just poor Aqua keeps getting the other end of the shoe. It's really hilarious.
And they kind of set you up for atypical problem solving from the very beginning of the anime, when she's like, you can have these powers or you can have a weapon. What do you want to take with you to the next world? I choose you.
Why not? That should be the right choice.
I 100% would never have thought of that in that situation. Like if I was ever put in that situation.
That was incredible, and then at the end of the day, ended up in a useless goddess.
Yeah. It should have been so overpowered. It should have been so overpowered to have the actual goddess of that world with you. But like her own people don't even like her.
Yeah, it's
like no followers.
So great. Small amount of followers, but zealots.
Yeah.
Zealots, if nothing goddamn else. You want to join the Axis Church? Yeah, here, everybody from the child who trips on the street to the merchants to role played out robbers and actors. You want to join the church? We've got contracts.
I freaking hated that episode, man. That whole thing was stressing me. I'm like, I swear to God.
And that was the point. Is like you understand where they're coming from, but considering that
more asking you if have you heard about the Lord and Savior Godzilla and shit.
it makes it even more comedic because we know who Aqua is, we know who they follow, and you can feel the disconnect of who they think Aqua is and who Aqua is.
They totally don't believe that she's Aqua.
Yeah, because she's turning the sacred spring baths into just hot water. It's like the people you're trying to help don't like you because you are that much of an issue.
Also, like, I like when a comedy takes a joke, they let you know that it's coming. Like, that it's coming, but then they go that much further with it, and that's what makes it funny. Which I think was exemplified when they were fighting the Dullahan. Like, that Kazuma is going to use steel to steal that motherfucker's head. You know it from the beginning of that fight. Like, At least I knew it. Like, I saw that coming a mile away. What I did not see coming is that they would proceed to play soccer with his head while he's talking and complaining the entire time. Like, I love that they just take things that one step further to make it actually funny.
They reward you for figuring it out early by making it like, oh, I knew this was coming. Then you feel smart. And then they throw the twist at you. The Konosuba twist.
One thing I kept expecting, because I think this question has come onto everybody's mind who has ever watched Konosuba, is Aqua wearing panties or not? Because she is just cheeks in the wind the entire time. I kept expecting him to try and use steel on her to steal her panties and then come up with nothing, and that would be a joke. I kept expecting that to happen.
I feel like that'll happen eventually.
I know, right?
Not now, but yeah. My answer is no, because there are a lot of shots where it's like you get into the side of her shirt, and you just see nothing. So I don't think she is wearing any in any capacity. And there were moments where I was like, all right, got to look at that upper hip area to see if there's anything. No, there is not. So I doubt it, to say the least.
Not even for the fan service, it's just curiosity.
No, I was, because the question was posed last week, I was doing it for scientific research. Okay? She's not even my favorite character of the three.
For purposes.
Yeah, for research purposes.
But just like Magnus was saying, they never take it, all the way to the edge. Like when talking, for example, about fan service, it's never to that point. I think like the closest point we had was when Kazuma was in the jacuzzi waiting for that succubus to come and get him.
Oh yeah,
thought it was in the shape of darkness. Like he was all surprised about it. But he was like, okay, I can see why. I mean, yeah, I believe it. And then darkness wasn't. It was actually darkness. It was kind of funny too.
Yeah, Deathpire brings it up. Konosuba works because the comedy and fantasy aspects are intertwined. Yeah, it's the comedy, it's the fantasy. And it's actual storytelling, like it's everything intertwined all into one, and it makes it a fantastic anime. I think
it definitely helps that they set the tone very early on when you learn about how Kazuma dies. So by learning about how Kazuma died, which is shock after pushing a girl away from a slow-moving tractor.
Oh yeah. That wasn't
himself as well.
It wasn't even going to hit her.
Nope, not even close. The tractor doesn't even hit him. The shock in the yeah. The fact that they set that comedic premise up so early sets the tone, so not to take any of this seriously, except for the moments when they need to. But for the most part, because they set it as a comedy so early on, they're able to get away with a lot of these jokes really well.
That's a really good subject of conversation, talking about the times that Kazuma died, like when he fell off the tree.
Oh yeah,
that's the other thing a few times, doesn't it?
Wasn't expecting, but is funny when you get repeatedly killed and resurrected in an anime. Like I was not expecting him to die multiple times. I'm like, all right, well, where's his plot armor? Now I know he doesn't get any.
He doesn't want to go back. Like, he doesn't want to be resurrected.
He's done. He's done with life. He's like, no. Screw these. Screw that useless god. Let me just stay here. I'm done with it.
All right, like you said you could give me the perfect life. Give me that Superman lifestyle, a wealthy family, people I want, awesome body. Just give me that.
He's so worried about his image that when what's her name? Megumin starts playing with his body. He's like, no, send me back. Send me back.
Don't you dare desecrate my corpse. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh man. It's such a funny anime. Like, really, this is an anime that anybody can watch. Mm-hmm. In reality, just, make sure, like, your parents aren't home or, like, nobody else walks into it. There's a couple of scenes that might question.
Is there really? I never thought of it that way.
Well, there's just some non-anime viewer shit that happens that we just get judged right away. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you're watching this in like the family living room and it's one of the bath scenes where it's only hair in the way, or there's even like,
yeah, continue.
Okay, yeah, and then even in the final few episodes, there's the girl in overalls where she's not even covering her left tit; it's just the overall. Like, for a family environment, maybe not. But, you know, the people watching this that are used to anime, this isn't anything too new, too surprising in that regard, but they never show anything but.
Blaine, you never cease to amaze me. Big Fat Gamer, what's going on? Yes, we are weebs.
Yes, we are. And that is the point. After all, one of us is a literal weeb. One of us actually got put into an anime podcast. Yeah, there's just... And you take the time to get to know each character too. Like, they could just keep them all surface level characters. They could keep, you know, Darkness as this, you know, masochist style character that just enjoys getting beat up and enjoys the attention, but also doesn't enjoy the attention. That's kind of the whole point. They could just keep her as that, but no, you get into her family, you get into what her life was like, and, you know, why she even wanted to become an adventurer, why she lives that way. It's because she was sheltered and she didn't want that. So the fact that they take the time to give more depth to these characters, I think is a good way to do it, because
it's depth, but I wouldn't say that they're dynamic characters. None of them change throughout the entire anime. There's no like character growth. There's just the same characters going through different stories, which would normally piss me off, but they pull it off in such a way that's actually entertaining. And that's what kind of keeps it as a slice of life, sort of. There's no dramatic moments, and like Deathfire said earlier, like there's no moments like I think Akame Got Kill is a good example of being a bad example of this. Is you get these like ferocious, dramatic, climactic battle scenes where somebody very important dies, and then 3 seconds later is a joke and like a little bit of comedy, and it's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, Akame Got Kill has the craziest
favorite characters.
mood swings. Yeah. Even the cat has a storyline.
Dapper does have a point, though. If you really think about it, they go about the families of these people. Like, they have really good character. Like you said, I mean, it's not development, but you know a lot about their story. Like, in the movie, it's all about Megumin and her parents and her family and her relationship with Yunjun, I think is her name. And then you have the whole fiancé and wedding with Darkness. And oh my God, the whole Darkness trying to be like funny or trying to get everybody jealous, or the dad like to actually like Kazuma and be like, you know, like her whole silent conversation with Kazuma was cracking me up, man. That was so freaking funny. But
trying to get out of the arranged marriage by being as deranged as possible.
The only one that appeared out of nowhere that it was kind of weird because she just appeared was Whis. They just suddenly went into the store and she was there. Like, she just appeared one episode and I didn't know anything about her.
Why are you fucking with Wiz?
Hey, what do we think about Whis?
Well, I mean, the thing about her is that because she's a side character, yeah, she's important, but she's a side character. We don't see her most episodes, and they're just somebody that they reference every so often. So for her to just appear out of nowhere isn't too surprising. I mean, technically, Eris did as well.
So there's a few here. They're considered still main characters. Megumin, Kazuma, Eris, Junjun, Whis, someone who we don't know yet, Aqua, and Darkness. All of these ones are considered the main characters of the story. I guess because they're of the same party.
You consider them the main characters. I don't consider them the main characters.
No. I'm talking about like here in the universe, they are considered the main characters.
They're considered important, maybe not the main.
I guess at some point in the manga, they become main, just like the rest. But
we haven't gotten to that point. So we're talking about the anime.
I'm just reading what this says right here. These are the ones that are considered the main characters. Everybody else secondary. Like Chris, for example. Chris was a secondary character, and I thought, oh, that's, she's cool. Never in a million years I would have figured out who she was in reality, and I'm not gonna spoil that to anybody because I was like,
yeah, you better not.
Yeah, stay quiet.
Deathfire says the manga had a proper introduction for Wiz. Yeah, they just cut it for the anime. Happens a lot.
I mean, yeah, it's not too surprising. And honestly, I didn't feel like I would need an introduction to Wiz. She's just a great character, and you get all of what you need to know about her right away. Yeah, and they do mention it, how they met her in a graveyard, and then they just kind of shooed her away. So she became Shopkeep, and that's all you needed to know, really.
Yeah, I mean, along the way, they tell you about her story and Dolahan, and how he's on the river waiting for her. And
that whole thing where it's like, oh, I saw him across the river. Thank God you brought me away from that.
That's funny. Aqua keeps almost killing Wiz over and over again.
Not even like intentionally.
Know,
it's like through tears, through mass cleansing an area. It's just, she just happens to be there, and it's so unfortunate.
Like water and oil.
Yeah, I do love that it's also a different dynamic because generally the main character is the one with all the powers. So the side characters get time to shine when he's like out of the fight or whatever. But in this one, it's the opposite, where the party members are the overpowered ones, and the main one has to figure out what the hell to do and see how he can help. It's a good dynamic.
Yeah, the main one is the brains, quote unquote.
He kind of has to be. No one else there has any.
Well, but taking away that dramatic aspect of it and of a typical action isekai, they have allowed every character to shine in their own specific way, because it isn't what I always call isekais is a 13-year-old's power trip fucking wet dream. It isn't just all about Kazuma. It's about all of them. He's kind of the glue that keeps them together, but and Megumin is kind of his secondary glue, I would say. Like Darkness and Aqua are fucking way out there. Megumin is out there. Kazuma's out there a little bit too. Like they're all out there a little bit, but like Kazuma and Megumin are probably the
too grounded in terms of trying to progress sometimes. Sometimes. It's those two for sure. And it as you mentioned, like this doesn't have the stereotypical power trip fantasy of the main character, but he also doesn't wallow in it either. He doesn't wallow in like, I've got no skills, god damn it, I'm useless. He's like, all right, what can I do to be on par with these people? And I still love that, like, despite the fact that he does have overpowered party members, they're all very niche overpowered. They fill one role extremely well. That's all they fill.
Darkness can take a fuckload of damage, but she can't do anything else. And
nope.
Megumin can explode shit, nothing else.
Once.
One shot only.
And they don't rely on Megumin every single time because, like, there was the dungeon crawl earlier with Aqua.
They can't, too.
Exactly. That's the other thing is they can't. Yeah, when you go inside a dungeon underground, explosion's gonna concave the entirety of the mountain that you're under.
It kind of reminds me of the one I use all my points in defense anime where the girl
Buffer.
Yeah.
In this case, Megumin just put everything in magic power. She's got
everything in explosion.
Forgot to add mana to it. Like she's got nothing. You have the
explosion power.
You have Junjun, who is the prodigy. Really good friend of Megumin, or I think they are
a rival.
I don't remember what they are really, like in reality. I don't remember.
They're friends / rivals. That's it.
And then you got Wiz, which is, I guess, the opposite of Aqua, which is, the smart one, kind,
competent,
is also super strong. Wears underwear, complete opposites.
Competent but not confident is how I would explain Wiz.
That's a big difference.
Whereas Aqua is confident but not competent.
No, God, no.
She's competent with her party tricks. That's where she put all of her points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one where it's not making Megumin too strong. It's they have to play around that weakness with a creative way, using the drain touch, taking mana from one person to give it to another, and that whole aspect of figuring out a flaw but not removing it, just having an alternative solution to it. That's another one of the good things they do.
I think my favorite moment in the entire anime is when he's faced with the guy that picked a sword, the cursed sword.
Oh my god!
And he uses steel to take the guy's sword, and then later on, the guy's like comes back for his sword. And he's like, "I sold it." But that comes back to bite him in the ass, of course.
Of course.
So he sold it. Makes sense. Sold it at the pawn shop for 10 coins.
It's definitely on one of my higher moments in the anime because I love, again, this anime subverts a lot of expectations. So early on, this is very early on in the anime when this happens, but he's like, all right, let's duel. Aqua for my sword. And without hesitation, it's like, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. And then he runs at him full speed. It's just that sudden jump into the action because every time, usually it's like, all right, let's take the duel, stance up, strike a pose for 10 seconds, 3, 2, 1, go. He's like, no, we're dueling. All right, go. And then just rushes ahead. It's that sudden stark jump. That's amazing.
How Aqua doesn't recognize him, but he like thinks that she's the greatest thing ever. And she's pissed that he broke the cage because she didn't want to come out of the cage yet.
No, my cage. How dare you?
Deathfire's constantly bringing up good points. And this is something I didn't know. Megumin was broke and Union was rich and lonely, so they were each other's only friend growing up. So that's that story right there.
Yeah. But speaking of being broke, how they always charge them for like destroying the walls and destroying the cage. Damn. Like everything goes wrong for Kazuma. And when everybody was judging him, that was so funny.
I mean, it's somewhat realistic, right? Like you can't just destroy the entire city wall and then walk away like nothing happened.
Yeah.
I think DapperDice just got up.
Yes, I did. I had to grab something, and it's going to look awkward to the model because it doesn't trace my actions entirely.
Yeah, it was just staring at me creepily.
It's okay. I see your flaws. I see the characters you enjoy. I judge you. No, a character that I really enjoyed was one of the demon generals. I don't remember his name, but it was the masked guy with the black and white.
Yeah, the puppet master guy. Yeah, I forget his name too.
Yeah. That character was amazing. I really like him. I love his goal in life. Like, he doesn't want to be some guy that commands armies, that rules the world. He wants to troll people. He's like, all right, I ventured out in the world and I wanted to make money so I could buy a dungeon, get some traps, get some monsters, and then when adventurers come slay me, I die behind them. And as they look into the treasure chest, it says you lose, and then he dies happily knowing they did nothing.
Also, like, according to this, he says his name is Vanir, and it's a
that's right.
character. Very close friends with Whis. He's a Duke of Hell and former general of the Demon King's army.
How does the party keep making friends with all of the Demon King's generals?
Because they don't like the Demon King, it sounds like. So they're like
the Demon King. I swear to God, the Demon King is gonna be like Kazuma's brother or some stupid shit like that. It's gonna be like either that or it's gonna be
that regard.
Deathfire, you're making me really want to watch or read all the mangas now. Like, I don't read manga at all, but
mangas are just spoilers.
I mean, if it's a story, then whatever.
I mean, he's saying that there was an insurance fund for collateral damage, but there was a noble embezzling it, so that's why they got charged.
Gotcha. I mean, it's not like they knew about the world, and it's not like Aqua was money savvy in any capacity. So she'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, I remember. There's this insurance company, but didn't remember when we got here."
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that
would be some Aqua shit.
Yep, that adds up.
Yeah, Aqua's one of my favorite characters in any anime, I think. Just because she's so dumb, but she means well. Sometimes she means well, yeah. Other times not so much.
Sometimes. Of the main four characters, who is your guys' favorite? The four main party, I'll say.
Aqua. Aqua's probably my favorite.
I'm gonna go with Megumin.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah, as for myself, it was Megumin as well. It feels like she has more serious notes, in my opinion. Normally it'd be somebody like Darkness, but I don't know, something about Megumin just resonated better as a more mature character, ironically, compared to the other two.
Yeah.
Aqua just making so many horrible decisions. The incompetence. She's a great character, but she's not the archetype I enjoy in a character, so...
And she also has Shamusuke, or whatever his name is, the little cat.
Oh, yeah. The cat hasn't played too much importance as of right now in the anime episodically, but, later will come from the cat. But Megumin, plus, I love big, flashy one-shot moves, so, as a lover of animation as well, she has the best animations there is, because explosion looks beautiful every time.
Yeah, 100%.
The anime totally could have just made it kind of whatever after the first few times, but no. They go in, and it's new animation every time. They don't reuse animation. Like, obviously the circles are the same, but that's because it's the same spell. But they do new animation every single time for that.
Megumi's a good character. Great. I like Aqua because she is so dense. It just cracks me up.
Still definitely another great moment from the anime. My stats were maxed out from the beginning, and then Kazuma's like, I'm so sorry. Your intelligence can't get any higher. And it's like, oh, that's an oof moment to say the least.
Poor Aqua. She tries though.
She's got also her.
She tries for money.
Yeah,
if there's money involved, she tries
and immediately uses it on something so unnecessary.
She's so underhanded too. Like when they're in the fucking the neighborhood, the hot springs that are run by Aqua's cult, and she's like, she tells the one guy that the mantra is, I forget what the other goddess was, but Eris pads her boobs. And like the climactic battle, he's chanting that while everybody else is
final shout out to give her the final power to do the spirit punch.
Oh, I love that so much. I was hoping that would pay off eventually.
Yeah, it's one of those Chekhov guns that you don't think about. Like you expect us to hear about like him just doing it later on, like when something scandalous happens maybe, or when he has another like impure thought or whatever. But no, it's the final chant that turns against the Hans the Slime and turning that entire fight.
Who is actually one of the few actually evil demon generals.
Yeah, yeah. And it's all because he hated soap.
Oh, here's another thing I love is that Megumi doesn't even need that eye patch.
No, that's so true.
She cool. Switches it around sometimes.
Let's get into hand-to-hand combat. Let's do martial arts. Puts the eye patch on. Like, why would you put it on when you're going into martial arts? I get with like a spell, but when you need that coordination,
it's a good enough reason.
Yeah, it looks great. I love it personally.
I do like the storyline with the where Kazuma was on trial for blowing up that nobleman's house.
Oh yeah. Just put your faith into my luck. I know it'll be perfectly fine. Nothing will go wrong. Immediately when that ends, you're under arrest for blowing up a nobleman's house.
Yeah. That was a fun little storyline.
Trial segment was interesting because I didn't know how it was going to play out. Because I was honestly expecting him, because he had already died, I think once or twice by that point. I was expecting him to get hanged or hung, and then resurrected again, just right then and there. And it's like, well, I was executed. I've done my sentence now. That's what I was expecting it to be.
It's like, I've never had relationships with anybody who's linked to the Demon King. Bing! He's like, what?
Yeah, that's the thing that got me. Is the wording is what made that scene really good to me. It's like, I'm from Japan and was a student. Ding. No, I didn't lie. I wasn't a student. Specifically.
I like I forgot what I was going to say now. I had something lined up.
Continue.
No, he can't. He lost it.
I lost it, man.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I was gonna say, Katsuma was literally putting himself down during that whole interview.
I mean, he had to, either. Otherwise it would be a lie. Exactly. So, I know what I was going to say, but by killing Kazuma off so fairly early in, it makes you wonder throughout a lot of these fights: is he going to die?
Yeah.
But they kind of brought that up with the slime thing too. Is if he gets completely dissolved, then he can't resurrect.
Yeah, but I like the small detail of when his skull gets kicked around, actually tears get drawn onto the skull when it gets kicked. Like, even while dead, his corpse is still being messed with. Yeah, it was for the good of the town and the people and the general killing, but like, still his skull being sad that I got kicked. I do like the detail of at the very end, they have to go like they have to go destroy some golems or whatever, and then search some ruins. And we learn about another guy who got isekai'd here, and his whole thing was, if he wants it bad enough, he can get whatever he wants. And it's like, oh, I'm curious what goes on with this guy. And then we learned that he's the fucker that made the spider that almost nukes the town, and who died alone in his chair in the mobile fortress.
Yeah. Miguel was his name. It was the one who it was the leech as well, former human.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize he had been isekai'd.
Yeah. No, they talk about it. It's like, I was sent to this world to go destroy the Demon King, but I can't think of anything strong enough to beat him. So is it that I don't actually want to beat him? And like, you get a little philosophical for a moment, or philosophical for a moment, where it's like, is my will strong? Do I really want to kill him? And in my mind, I thought this was going to go, maybe he found out that he liked this world too much, and that maybe he doesn't want to leave it. So that's why he doesn't will anything strong enough to beat the demons, the Demon King. And then we learn, like, I'm just gonna give up. I can build whatever I want, so I'm gonna get robot waifus. And it's like, oh, all right, this is where this is going. Okay, then. And then we see him like losing his hair throughout the entirety of it. And it's like, this is interesting to witness. And then we cut to him on the spider robot again. It's like, oh, it's this idiot. Okay.
I must have missed that part or something.
Yeah, it's at the very end. You actually you can. It's I think the final episode or two, but yeah, watching that the first time, it's fresh in my mind because I watched it right before stream. But
it's another good thing about Konosuba though is you can rewatch Konosuba like no problem. Like it has a lot of rewatchability to it because it is just fun, sort of eye bleach.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Goodness.
Though you can't see it, I do have my non-brand energy drink still in front of me. So,
just like Howitzer's non-branded children block skin.
All right. There are just so many great moments throughout this anime, and it's one that I would recommend if you just have time and don't want to commit to an anime because it's very episodic. Like, yeah, there's a through story, but you can watch an episode and just enjoy it for what it is. It doesn't always inherently
100%.
forward the plot, which is nice.
I don't know. I think it'd probably be a short episode, but that's about all I had to say about Konosuba. Unless you guys had anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, it really is.
Not off the top of my head. Yeah, it was a very casual, just fun watch, and not every conversation we have needs to be deep in the politics of the show.
Yeah.
The deep intrinsic morality behind it. No, it's just it's just an underpowered character doing his best to live life. And
we just agree to a lot of points, really.
Still some panties. Yeah. Not a lot of disagreeing about Konosuba.
No,
it's
really.
hard to when there's not much controversy behind it, really.
Yeah.
It's just a fun anime.
Like I said, it's a universally loved one, except for the one guy in the comments for the poll that absolutely hated it.
That whole thing. Okay, we could talk about that just for a moment. No, I don't know the guy's name. I don't remember word for word what he said. But just I get it, It's an isekai, so you're already getting into an overused trope at this point in time. So if you're getting into it at this point, it definitely is going to come off as too unserious, I would say. Like, it plays with the tropes and then makes fun of its tropes, but it itself is doing the tropes. So if you take it too seriously, this anime is a difficult one if you try and take everything at face value and take everything as if it's supposed to be an amazing story. You don't watch Konosuba for the story. You can, but you watch it for the comedy. You watch it for the characters.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to watch Konosuba for the plot, sure.
Slime.
Not the recommendation.
Sometimes anime can just be fun.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it should be quite often. But that's all I have to say in response to that tough, harsh comment. Is not everything needs to be a well-written story. Sometimes something can be fun just for the face value of fun.
I respect that guy's opinion. Like, you're allowed to have whatever opinion, but now I know what Owwen feels like whenever I bash the shit out of N Minutes in Shadow.
Thank you.
Valid points can be made, and it's understandable to dislike things, but.
And I'm still going to bash the shit out of the Eminence and Shadow.
Magnus is that guy in the comments.
All right. That is going to about wrap it up. Dapper, you got anything to plug for this week?
As of this week, on my YouTube channel, you can see a daily upload of me doing a speed run of Borderlands 2 with some friends. We beat Borderlands 2 in under 10 and a half hours.
Oh, nice.
So that was hellish, but fun. It was very hellish, as the later episodes will reveal. My usual streams of running through Cyberpunk with crafting only as of this point, just to give myself a little bit of a challenge, as well as ARAM stuff going on. The new character Cassante dropped, so I'm doing that after this specifically. And then, next week before Thursday, Paragon drops, so you can expect that next Wednesday from me, 100%.
Yep, same here.
That's me. Twitch and YouTube, DapperDice in both regards.
Owwen?
Get here at Clash of Souls. Come support us. Go to our community. Join in. Come talk. Say hi. We'll be there.
Right on. I got nothing to plug this week. If anybody's been watching my channel, I, of course, have upload after upload after upload of Overprime content. Paragon the Overprime content. So that's going to keep on going until they open up their final beta test. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week. I'm not sure what anime we're going to do next week. We'll figure it out. We'll talk it out amongst ourselves. But this is going to be the My Life in Another Anime podcast crew signing off. You guys have a good one.